So in this question, we have two disks A and B. And these two disks have equal mass and equal radius. And they are rotating about an axis which is passing from their centers and perpendicular to the plane of the ring. So if the ring is placed in this plane, then the axis is perpendicular to this plane and passing from the center of the disk. And it is also given here that the angular velocity of these two disks is also equal. So both of them are rotating with the same omega. So their mass is same, their radius is same, their angular velocity is also same. Now it is given here that a large force needs to be applied on disk B to come to rest, to make it come to rest. So if I want to stop disk B, I have to apply a larger force as compared to disk A. And for this situation, we need to find out which of these given statements is correct. So here, we should focus on the given statement that a larger force is required to stop disk B. What does that mean? If the force required is larger for disk B, it means that the moment of inertia of disk B is higher or greater than the moment of inertia of disk A. Now we know that moment of inertia depends on three different things. First is the mass of the body. So here it is given that for both of these disks the mass is equal. If the first disk has some mass m, then the second disk will also have the mass m. The other thing is the radius. So for both of these bodies or both of these disks, the radius is also identical. And the third thing is the distribution of mass. So if the mass is same and radius is same, then definitely the distribution of mass should be different for these two bodies. Now for disk B, the force required is more. It means the moment of inertia is more. It means the mass is distributed away from the axis of rotation. If the distance between the mass and the axis of rotation is more, the moment of inertia will be more. That is why a solid sphere has a less moment of inertia than a hollow sphere, because the whole mass of a hollow sphere is concentrated at the surface, while for a solid sphere the mass is concentrated throughout the volume. So in this case also, the mass of disk B should be concentrated away from the axis of rotation. So the correct answer for this question should be option D. The mass of disk B is concentrated away from the center. So let's see this next question on moment of inertia. In this diagram, you can see we have a mass m which is situated at point O. And we need to find the moment of inertia of this mass about four different axes. First is the axis passing from A, then the axis passing through B, then the axis AB, and the fourth axis AA dash. So let's start with the axis passing through A. Now you can see here the axis passing through A will be something like this. And we need mass and perpendicular distance to calculate the moment of inertia. So mass of this body is given to us as m, and the perpendicular distance from the axis of rotation for this case will be this distance d. So here we can write the moment of inertia Ia is equal to md square. So this is the value of Ia. Now in the next case, we need to find the moment of inertia Ib. The axis should pass through the point B. So if I take the axis which is passing through B and perpendicular to this plane, then the perpendicular distance of this mass from the axis is distance y. But here the options are given in terms of d and theta. We don't have the option in terms of y. So let's try to find out the value of y in terms of theta, and that we can easily do from this right angle triangle AOB. In this triangle, we can write tan of theta is equals to perpendicular upon base. So perpendicular is y and base is d. So from this relation, we can write y is equals to d tan theta. And now we can write the moment of inertia IB as m into distance, perpendicular distance whole square. So d tan theta whole square. So when you simplify this, we get m d square tan square theta. So this is the value of moment of inertia about the axis B. Now the third axis is AB. AB is this line which is passing through A and B. And you can see in the figure the perpendicular distance from this axis of the mass is the distance x. Now again we need to find the answer in terms of D. And we know theta and d is given to us and we need to find x in terms of d to find the moment of inertia. So let's do that. If I take this point as d, then I can take a triangle, right angle triangle AOD. And in this right angle triangle, we know the hypotenuse is d and perpendicular is x. So we can write sine of theta is equals to x by d. And from here, we get x is equals to d sine theta. So we got the perpendicular distance. Let's substitute in the formula of moment of inertia. We get IAB is equals to m into d sine theta whole square. So when we simplify this, we get m d square sine square theta. So the moment of inertia IAB is md square sine square theta. And the fourth axis is the axis AA dash. And for this axis, the perpendicular distance of mass m from the axis is nothing but this distance d. So we can directly write the moment of inertia about the axis AA dash is md square. So let's see the correct answer now. Option B, which is giving us md square tan square theta, md square sine square theta and md square is the correct answer for this question. So here is another question on moment of inertia. In this question, we have two spherical balls A and B whose masses are given to us as 2 kg and 5 kg. And these two balls are connected with the help of a massless rod. We need to find the moment of inertia of this system about the axis which is given in the figure. So about this orange color axis, we need to find the moment of inertia. And the distance of these two spheres from this axis is given to us in the figure. The distances are 1 meter and 3 meter. So the distance of 5 kg sphere is 1 meter and the distance of 2 kg sphere is 3 meters. Now one thing you have to assume in this question is that these two spheres are point masses. Later on in theory sessions you will see that when the radius of these two spheres are given to us or the radius of these two spheres are comparable to these distances, we can't assume these spheres as point masses. But that thing will come later in the further sessions. Right now we need to assume these spheres as point masses. So the distance is given to us, the mass is given to us, we can easily calculate the moment of inertia. So here we have these two spheres A and B and the mass and distance is given and we know that moment of inertia is a scalar quantity. So we can directly add the two moment of inertia and get the moment of inertia of the whole system. So let's do that. We can write IA as MA into RA square. And similarly, we can write IB as MB into RB square. And we have all these values. Let's substitute all of them. MA is 2 kg. So 2 into 3 square plus MB is 5 into 1 square. So this becomes 2 into 9 plus 5 into 1, which is 18 plus 5. And when you add these two, the answer comes out to be 23 kg meter square. Don't forget the units of moment of inertia, which is kg meter square. So let's see the correct option here. The correct option is option C. In this question, you can see a right angle triangle ABC with sides 3 meters, 4 meters and 5 meters. And on the vertices of this right angle triangle, we have placed 3 point masses of mass 2 kg, 3 kg and 5 kg. And we need to find the moment of inertia of this given system about the axis PQ. And this axis is in the plane of this right angle triangle and perpendicular to the base BC. Now, we need two things to calculate the moment of inertia, which is mass and the perpendicular distance. Now, for these 3 point masses, the masses are given to us and we can easily calculate the perpendicular distance from the axis of rotation. You can see for mass 5 kg, which is placed at point C, the distance from the axis of rotation is 0. It's actually placed on the axis of rotation, so the distance is 0. And for the other two masses, 2 kg and 3 kg, the distances are R1 and R2, which are equal to 4 meters. The perpendicular distance R1 and R2 both are equal to 4 meters. So for MA, we have the distance 4 meters. For MB, we have the distance 4 meters. And for the third mass, MC, we have the distance 0. Now we can write the net moment of inertia or the total moment of inertia of the system as IA plus IB plus IC. And we know the formula of moment of inertia is mr square. So let's substitute it. IA can be written as MA into RA square plus IB will become MB into RB square and IC can be written as MC into RC square. Now we know that the value of RC is 0, so we can directly write the third term will become 0. And let's substitute the values in the first and the second term. So this becomes MA is 2 into 4 square plus MB is 3 into 4 square. So 4 square is 16. 16 into 2 will be 32. And 16 into 3 will be 48. So when you add these two, we get the net moment of inertia as 80 kg meter square. So let's see the options now. You can see here option B is the correct answer for this question. In this question, we have 4 identical particles of mass m which are placed at the vertices of a square ABCD. So you can see in the figure, we have a square ABCD and on these 4 vertices, we have placed 4 masses which are of identical mass m. And we want to find the moment of inertia about an axis which is passing through A and parallel to the diagonal BD. So you can see in this figure, there's an axis given which is passing through A and this axis is parallel to this diagonal BD. Now, we know that to calculate the moment of inertia, we need two things. For point masses, we need mass and the perpendicular distance of these masses from the axis of rotation. So here we have these 4 masses and we want the perpendicular distance of these 4 masses from the axis of rotation. First of all, for this particle A, the perpendicular distance will definitely be 0 because this particle is lying on the axis of rotation. So definitely for this particle, the distance is 0. Now, for the particles B and D, the perpendicular distance is R2 and R3 because this line is parallel to the axis of rotation. So the distance between these two lines will remain same. So we can say that R2 and R3 are equal. And we can calculate the values of R2 and R3 very easily using this right angle triangle ABO. Sorry, not ABO. Let's take this side, this point as E. So in the triangle ABE, we have this angle as 45 degrees. The line AE and BD are parallel. So we can say that this angle is 45 degrees using the properties of parallel lines. And now in the triangle AEB, we can write distance R2 should be equal to L sine of 45, where L is the side of this square. So this distance is L. So we can write the distance R2 as L sine 45. And exactly in the same way, we can write distance R3 as L sine 45. Now what is left? We need the distance R4 for the particle which is placed at C. And this R4 is nothing but the diagonal of this square. We know that diagonal of square is directly given by root 2 times the length or the side of the square. So we can write R4 as root 2 times L. We can easily calculate this using Pythagoras theorem. So this comes out to be root 2 times the side of square, which is root 2 L. So now we have the distances R1 as 0, R2 as L sine 45, R3 as L sine 45 and R4 as L root 2. So we can write the net moment of inertia as I1 plus I2 plus I3 plus I4. So let's write I1. I1 is the moment of inertia for the first particle which is situated at point A. And for this the distance is 0. So we can directly write the moment of inertia is 0. Moment of inertia is mr square. So if r is 0, moment of inertia will be 0. For the second particle which is placed at point B, we can write the moment of inertia as m into L sine 45 square. And exactly the same thing comes for the particle which is placed at point D. So for D also we can write m into L sine 45 square. And the last particle which is placed at point C, we know the distance is L root 2. So this becomes plus m times L root 2 square. So now let's simplify this. L sine 45. Sine 45 is 1 by root 2. And when we square it, it becomes 1 by 2. So this is ml square by 2 plus ml square by 2 again. And here we have L root 2 square will be L square into 2. So this is 2 ml square. Ml square by 2 plus ml square by 2 is ml square plus 2 ml square. So this becomes 3 ml square. So the net moment of inertia about the axis which is passing through A and parallel to the diagonal is 3 ml square. So let's see the options now. You can see here option C, 3 ml square is the correct answer for this question.